They say be careful what you wish for because you might end up getting it. This is the story of how my mind is my worst enemy sometimes, and how she prevents me to get what I really want. The idea of opening up about anxiety, about performing, came to me a few days ago when I was called at 2 a.m. in the morning to play at Superbooth 2023 in the main stage, the Sibune. Instantly I wanted to say, no, I cannot do that, but then I accepted it and it was amazing. But this roller coaster of emotion I go through happens all the time I have to perform. And by now, I think I made in my life a few hundreds live gigs. I started when I was 15, but still the anxiety is there. And I think by now it will never end, it will never leave. So I find some way to counterbalance that, and I realize there's 5 main points, 5 main justification excuses that comes to me constantly, and now I try to acknowledge them and know how to get out of it. Plus I will give you some more helps ideas that really was useful for me. So before going into the topic, as usual, the way you can support me, you can subscribe, you can share this content, you can become a Patreon. In Patreon we do more in-depth lesson, we do also one-on-one, and also we are working on an EP together. This week it's going to be the second episode of that. And you can buy from the affiliate link down below. All of this way, let me keep going with this channel. So let's give you a little background of what happened. A few months ago, I've been contacted by Jack Noyes, that is an artist that also works for the Superbooth for the artists. She find the artists to make them play. And a few months ago, she asked me, would you like to play for this event that was falling on the end of Superbooth? And I said yes, right away. Then, after I said yes, I started like, oh my God, playing at Superbooth? It wasn't literally for Superbooth, it was an event parallel to it. And I say, those days I will be so busy meeting people, and then now I have to prepare this set, and that was 2 months ago. And so I start feeling anxious. A lot of anxiety hit me, and to a point that after a few days, I write Jackie again and say, look, you know what? I would rather focus on the event because it's my work. I will have to network, and I don't want to really think about putting together a setup, rehearse, blah, blah, blah. Now you have to know that my dream, if I have to have one, is to be an artist, is to be somebody that go around and play his music. So somebody from Superbooth, which is one of the most important event in electronic music, call me and want me to play, and what I say no. So basically, dreams coming true and my mind prevent me to get that. After I say the no, of course, la frittata si ribalta, how you say in Italy, like you flip the entire narrative, and now I feel like, oh damn, why I said no? Why nobody ever want me to play out? And I start giving myself justification why I said no. You know, like trying to realize maybe that wasn't that good, it wasn't a good place to play, there was not enough money, blah, blah, blah. A lot of excuses. So again, I went back to point 1 where I was saying, I really wish that somebody hire me, book me more because I want to play out. So fast forward to Superbooth day 1. I was there, amazing, meeting all of the friends, super tired. I go home, and at 2 a.m. that night, my phone is ringing. So I pick up, and it's Jack Noyes, and say, look, there's somebody that was meant to play at the main stage Saturday and he cannot play. Would you like to cover for him? Would you like to be part of the artist? In that moment, I had both of my feeling clashing again. yes, of course I want to do it, and no, I don't want to do it. How am I gonna prepare for that? But I just jump and I said, yes, I'm gonna do it. Because I knew by now, by that moment, that saying no would have made me regret it for the rest of my life. So I said, yes, let's do it. And she booked me for basically 1 day and a half after. I had nothing prepared. I didn't practice my live setup for 3 months because I was so busy with other stuff. So I just jumped into the void. What happened? I wake up early in the morning, I come to the studio, and for the next 2 mornings, from 6 in the morning to 11, I rehearse, I create something, I decided, oh, let's see what I can do. And I made it. I came out with something simple, and I play the Saturday. It was great, and I'm so glad I did it. So thanks Superbooth for calling me. Thanks for believing in me, and thanks to myself for saying yes. Because if I would have said no that night, now I would feel so bad. So this is the story, and I was thinking, I'm sure a lot of people go through that, and I talked with my friend there, and a lot of people say, yes, that's exactly what happened to me too. So I thought, let's open up about this topic, this issue that some of us face, and let's see if we can share ideas, share tricks on how we can trick our own mind that tricks us in the first time, right? Okay, so I write down 5 excuses that comes to me all the time. And let's see how now I try to counter these bad ideas. So the first excuse that come into my mind, I think it's the most powerful, and also, if you think about it, the most stupid. It's the one that says, you are not good enough. Now, this thing about imposter syndrome, or feeling that we are not as good as our peers, it's something that is really eradicated in a lot of artists, in a lot of people. It's really a human thing. But think about this. If somebody reach out to you, somebody that, I don't know, organize a festival or organize music for a venue or whatever other art thing you are in, if somebody reach out to you, it already means that for this person, you have value. They want you to perform. They want to be part of their show, exhibition, whatever it is. So you will never, ever be good enough if you compare yourself to others. But what these people want, they want you. They want you to go there and be yourself. So if you switch your mind and think like, these people value my truthfulness, they value what I am, and they just want me to show up at their thing and perform what I am, things sounds way more easier, right? You don't have to impress. You just have to go there and do what they ask you. Be yourself. Bring your own show. Bring your own whatever talent, because they recognize it first. So that is not easy, of course, to think. It's like there will always be this tension. It's like, okay, I will be judged. I will be seen by others. So I'm not saying that now whenever somebody calls me, I say, oh, they value me, they value myself, so it's gonna be easy. No, but somehow switching the idea and thinking, okay, they just want to see me do what I do best. And what we do best, it's usually what comes very effortlessly. What I did there, it's like I bring my Vermona Octatrack setup. It's something that I'm super confident with, super comfortable with. And I know how people likes it. I know that it's my own thing. It's my specific personal, style, instrument, whatever. And I know that people want to see that. They don't want me to do anything outside the boundaries. They just want to see Oora performing. And that it's easy. It's super easy for me. So learning that and realizing that, acknowledging that really shift everything in a better way. So next time somebody call you and ask you to perform, to do whatever, just say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna be myself. There's nothing really I have to do because they want just that. Simple as that. The second point would be that you don't have time to prepare. So when they call me and I say, oh my God, this is happening in 2 days. Last time that I did a show, I prepared for a month. What am I gonna do? This is another kind of a trick your mind plays on you. Yes, of course, you need to rehearse, but if you have been asked to play out, it means that you already have experience. Nobody will call you to perform, to do an exhibition if you come out of nowhere. So they might have seen you at another show, they might have listened to you or watched what you do, and so basically you are prepared. Now, of course, if you have a month to prepare a live show in the small details, probably it will sound better, you will impress more, even though we said you don't really have to impress. But in what happened like this last time, I had only 2 mornings to prepare. And that's it. I decided this is what I can do. I will not push myself harder than what I can. And I know that I am good with this machine. I know what I'm doing. And also, what matters is not how technically prepared I am, but what I have in my mind and in my heart. What I can play and how I can, move people or bring some emotion to that, because that's what I wanted to do. So that will always happen, like, hey, you don't have time. And maybe if you start doing that, you will lose the chance to network, to relax. And this is because you have to step out the comfort. And comfort, what is comfort? Is just like, okay, having 3 months to prepare. So just step out of your comfort zone. That is basically the main thing. You want to be comfortable, and the best things happen outside your comfort zone. All right. Now, I'm reading what I wrote down here because I don't want to miss thing. Okay, another point. I will have anxiety. So that this is something that really prevents me to do a lot of stuff in life, even traveling, because I know that I'm afraid to fly, and that will put me in an anxiety state for months. Now, there's something in life you cannot control, and that gives you anxiety, fine, you have to deal with that. But stuff like playing music or do your art or do your thing shouldn't give you anxiety. So what I lately do, it's like I don't call it anxiety, but I call it excitement. Now, this sounds some mumbo jumbo kind of stuff, but it works. It's like when I feel that sort of, butterfly in your stomach, I don't know how you call it, but a floating, excited feeling. Initially, I always call it anxiety. I was like, I'm anxious, it's gonna be bad. But then I start saying, I'm excited. And whatever people ask me, I would say, I'm excited, it's gonna be... No, I don't say it's gonna be good, I don't like to say that, but I try now to shift from a bad word, anxiety, to a good word, excitement. And I try to build up on that. I try to make it like when you go on a date, right? No, not that I remember when I go on date, but you build up, and day after day you get more excited and more excited. And I try to do that. I try to visualize what's gonna happen. I try to visualize my live show and build excitement over excitement. And it worked. All right, then, 4th point. You will screw up. This is like another of those things that happen. And precisely in this event, my idea was like, you will screw up in front of all your networking people, other artists, all the business people. You will look like an idiot. Well, guess what? I never ever screw up one single show in my life. And again, I make few hundreds of it. Yes, of course, some of them was not that good, some they were amazing, but I always did my thing well. I always enjoyed it. And back in the day, man, when I was young, I might go on stage drunk as crazy, because that's what we used to do when we were teenagers. And I would be able to play, and I always put myself 100% on stage, because I feel entitled. When I'm on stage, I feel entitled to give everything. I don't care anymore about judgment once I'm on stage. And, I go for it, always went for it fully. I never once made a bad live show. So this is the most sci-fi of the excuses. You might say, yes, it happened maybe one time that my octatrack turned off, or I screw up something in the MIDI thing. And for example, in this last gig, I did something on the bass voice of the performer moving a lot and dancing. I touched the tuning, and the tuning went off. When I'm in studio, I'm always like, oh my God, what if that happened? I'll be completely done. And you know what? I just tuned on stage. And it was in the middle. It was one of the most intense pieces I was doing. And I just listened. I just calmed down, listened, and everything went fine. So the worst accident actually are not that bad when you are on stage. I don't know, I feel you have this strength, this focus that helps you to get over with problems and just move forward. The show must go on, right? You cannot just stand there and say, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You will find a way, and it will come from yourself. It will come from the fact that you know what you are doing. Yeah. The last point, this is a weird one, and it's something like a presumptuous. And sometimes I say no to things because I would say, oh, that's not good enough for me. That's not a good stage. They don't pay me enough. They don't care about my music enough, or the other artists are not good. This is another super powerful mind trick. And 90% of the time, it's a excuse. Now, of course, when you play out, when you put your face into something, you need to be sure that it is good. But most of the time people call me, it's always a good thing. So, that sometimes they might say, hey, there's not money for these things. Like the Superbooth, they don't pay. They just ask us. And they were upfront, like, this is a gig that is not paid. It's just like supported artists that support the Superbooth, and it's completely fine. Some other time, there might be other artists that you don't feel matching with. And I remember, I play ambient set with techno set, or back in the day I play metal set with somebody that would play acoustic guitar and voice. I think there's a lot of prejudice you have that you have to fight, and it keep happening, and you need to realize sometimes it's really bad and there's no organization, they try to take advantage of artists. So if you realize that, then of course it's not good for you, so say goodbye. But most of the time it's just another trick. So in that case, I try to sit down and realize. For example, the first time I said no to Superbooth, because it was during the Superbooth. I tried to justify that, saying, oh, maybe it wasn't the good stage, maybe it was just a small stage, maybe people wouldn't come. And then I felt like an idiot. Like, it's Superbooth, people gonna be there, cool people gonna be there, and it's gonna be amazing. And you can say you play for Superbooth. You'll be part of the community, which is something I care a lot about. So now every time I will sit down, write down what are all of these things. I want to write down all of these things because I know how to counter them. That said, the main getaway from this, it's everything that happens outside your comfort zone most of the time is good. It's what makes you grow, makes you do new experience, new friendship, makes people know you for something that otherwise they wouldn't have noticed. So if I would have stayed home that day or just be in the audience rather than play, now I would have regret for a long time. And I would beat my head and say how stupid you are. So now I can say that was amazing. I'm so proud that I was on that stage, and that was just what I wanted. One of my dreams come true, and the only things that could have prevented that was just myself. Boom. All right, and first I hope this is useful for you to understand that even people that are professional, now of course I'm professional in the music field, I'm not a performer. I mean, I know that I am a performer, I love performing, but I don't do that so much. I hope this will grow up, and I'm sure it will. But anyway, opening up about all of these little weaknesses we have, and I know that a lot of other artists have, I think it can be really useful, and I wish to see in your comment your experience with that. Now, the last few things. Let me take these. I pretend I'm not reading, but I'm reading because my memory is not that good. So a few things that can help when you feel anxiety hitting and you don't know what to do. Meditation. Meditation is really good. Now, I approached meditation years ago with the idea, oh, that's mambo jumbo too. It's like for spiritual people, and I'm not spiritual, but really is helpful. Somehow it's a practice on how to keep your mind quiet. And of course, it's no way here I can explain to you what meditation is, but whenever I feel anxious, I do some meditation. Even 5 minutes is enough. I usually do 10 minutes. And I sit down, and after that I feel more grounded, relaxed, and helps me really to move forward. Then, rehearse. And this doesn't mean rehearse just before the gig. What I said to me last time that I gigged the church gig that was amazing was like, now this live show that I did is good. It's really good. So every week I will rehearse a couple of hours and do it exactly the same. Did I do that? No. And that was super stupid. Because if I would have do every week just once, I could be able then, every time that somebody called me, just to go for it without losing the anxiety of I have to prepare thing. So I would say rehearse constantly, even half an hour a day, half an hour every few days. That will build your self-confidence. And with that, keep your live setup always on. I have it on my table here, my Vermona Octatrack, always there, because I know that I can turn on the things and just practice. So make that easy for you. Make it an habit, super easy habit. Then, it's fun that I write here, just say yes and do it. Yes, this sounds weird, but be a yes man sometime. It's the best way to learn how to deal with anxiety. Do things. Sometimes just jump on it without thinking. It's the best way. Then yeah, you will have anxiety after, but committing to something is the first step to then learn on how to get over anxiety. And if you say no, if you keep saying no to life, to chances, you will just live a life of regrets. Another thing that I really advise you is to try to do streaming. especially if you're a performer. Do streaming, it's the first step in fighting anxiety, because you will do something in the convenience, in the comfort of your studio, home, whatever it is, but still you will feel the excitement of a performance, because people will be seeing you doing something live. So streaming is a great way. There's many ways you can do it. You can do it with video, like Twitch, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, or you can get something like I forgot the name of the radio things that I have. I have it here. Let me grab it. Oh, this guy. Beat. I don't remember. But this guy. I did few of those, and I'll write it on the comment. And this lets you to broadcast your live show directly, like it was a radio. There's other things that you can do, but in that way you just skip the visual part. You don't have to be on video, but still you have to do your performance. So it's great to have a way to practice your live setup with a real audience. Even if there are two people, I'm guaranteeing you, you will feel some sort of excitement and some sort of, I have to do a good show because somebody is listening. And I mean, when I started, I always had 2-3 people, at least randos, but it's fine. It's even better. Random people that will be on your channel. Then record what you're doing. All of your rehearsal, it's great if you record them and then you listen back to that, because it's hard sometimes while you're performing to be aware what you're doing. So if you record it and you just go through it and you learn, okay, this is good, this is bad, it was too slow, this was too boring, it will give you a way for you to understand what's happening. And at the same time, take notes. So last time that I played, let me show you. Last time that I played for the church, I put down a beautiful notes and I lost it, of course. So this time when I accepted the gig, I say I'm gonna use that because I have it. So I didn't have it anymore. So it was like blank slate. But this is what I did for this show. And this is what I brought on stage. So this is my way, my simple way to get through a live show. And simply, since now I work a lot with sample that texture, like that will basically introduce the sound and help me with transition. I write down what I have to do. And then, of course, I can improvise, or mostly I remember, but having something written down, it really helps anxiety. For example, it happened me usually in the middle of gigs that I have always a moment of what am I gonna do next? It always happened once. And that's probably because sometimes you are overthinking what you're doing and you get out of your flow. And that is the moment that having something like this is really useful, because I can watch which point I'm at the live. So I'm in the 4th track, 4 pattern, and what happened next. So just having a look will give me security that I know what I'm doing and everything is ready and everything will be fine. And then the last point, which this is mambo jumbo, is like be grateful. I am so grateful that they call me to play at Superbooth. And I'm always grateful whenever anybody calls me. And I think that voicing that to the people that actually trusted you and believed in you, it's important. I love to share love, and I love to make the people that like what I'm doing to know that I'm grateful, just grateful, and living with this sense of happiness, of being grateful what you got. It's really is a first step in fighting anxiety and all the bad thoughts. And I am the most negative person and pessimist you can find. I was so bad years ago, and now I'm getting better and better. And being grateful is really one of the first steps that you can take. All right. I guess this was a longer video than I thought. How much? 23 minutes. And I hope, again, this is my philosophical things, which a lot of you at Superbooth asked me to, and they were it was really, really nice to hear that you like when I talk about this topic rather than just doing video demo. Okay, it's about it. I said everything I had. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and share this content and share your experience down below. I always reply to your message. Try at least. I'll see you next week, I guess. Thanks and ciao. Have a good week.